Everything we do in this business is playing the long game, and following up with leads for local real estate investors in our area that we want to lend to is no different.
Welcome to the Private Lenders Podcast with your host from Hard Money Bankers, Jason Balin and Chris Haddon. This podcast is sponsored by hardmoneymastermind.com.
Hey everyone, thanks for checking out the show. If you haven't done so already, go check out lendrsoftware.com. That is the go-to loan management, loan servicing, all of that software for the Mastermind, quickly becoming the most popular product in the industry. Go check it out. lendrsoftware.com. Mention this podcast for a discount. All right, we're talking about long-term follow-up sequence, and that when we were discussing the topic and some of the details around it, it just got me thinking about our business in general has just been one big long game with everything, with every aspect of the business. This is no different. But like when it comes to, building our lender accounts, when we started the company, it was zero. And then over time, it's built up nicely. When we were first starting to raise capital and our capital base and what we were able to deploy based on the money that we had started small and grew really slowly over time. And we're getting up to 20 years now. Even our skill sets in terms of underwriting, everything else is just one big long game. And marketing for borrowers, the local real estate investors we want to lend to, is a very, very specific example of a long game.
Yeah, because keep in mind, the hard work you're doing today doesn't pay off today. Because, sometimes you get lucky and it does. Maybe you meet somebody at a meetup group, somebody, gets, a referral from a real estate investor or real estate agent, and they call you and, hey, I got a deal. It has to close in like 3 days, and you close it. Like that does happen. But a lot of the time it's people and real estate investors asking for information, seeing what your terms are, what's your down payment. And a lot of the times they don't qualify right now. They're in an area that you can't lend in. They don't accept your terms. They don't get the property under contract. So the goal of all of this is to make sure you're collecting borrower information, adding it into your database, their phone number, their email address, and having a follow-up system in order to stay in touch with them over and over. And we're going to go through the 3 email templates that we follow. We send out anywhere between 1 and 3 emails a week, so call it 10 plus, call it 10 a month, right? And emails, broadcast emails, not necessarily like autoresponder emails, like broadcast emails that we spend time on, and relevant stuff that we're sending to them. We also do text messages and ringless voicemails. We're going to talk a little bit about that as well. But the point is we're spending either time or money on generating these leads, right? These incoming leads. Sometimes we do outbound in order to get leads. You have to create a database. And I think when Chris started this episode with, hey, you look back of where it started and it kind of grew and it snowballed, it comes into a point where like you're saturating the market with knowing every single real estate investor because you're putting them into your database and you're staying in touch with them over and over and over and over and over. And you have to start small. We'll talk to members of the Mastermind group and they're discouraged because they have a few hundred people in their database. It's like, that's okay. Work your way up every day. What are you doing every day to talk to new real estate investors and adding them to your database? Add them to your database, add them to your database, add them to your database, add them to your database. You're going to have thousands or 10,000 or 100,000 contacts in there over time. And those are the ones that will turn into you doing business with, right? Because you're going to be in touch with them at the right time when it's relevant to them. Right now might not be the best time for them to do a deal with you. But guess what? If they're getting an email from you every week or multiple emails from you every week, you're getting ringless voicemails, outbound calls, text message to them. You're going to hit them at the right time when they're ready to borrow from you.
And we're still adding new contacts every day.
Every day.
Whether it's automated, like people coming to our website could be an email broadcast, paid traffic campaign, organic search rankings, filling out some kind of form once they hit our site and they get the automated stuff. Okay, so people are being added that way. I know that you manually still add people every single day.
Every day.
I add people, not every day, not going to lie. It doesn't happen every single day. I'm also not on the origination side full time. But as I get contacts who may or may not be in our database, we just throw them in a simple form on a back page of our website and add to that. And also one of our monthly processes is to go through our pipeline of closed deals, closed loans, and select the best source that we can of where this came from. This gets tricky in our business too, because leads can come at you from all kinds of different angles. Like they could, click on a Google ad and convert that way and fill out a form, but then you realize they've been in the database for years. And which, by the way, that is one of our favorite things, is when we go and put the drop down on our spreadsheet to determine where it came from. Could be a broker, repeat client, pay traffic, whatever it might be. And we see that we just closed a loan for them for the first time ever this month, February 2026, and they've been in our database for years. They're getting email broadcast. They're getting the occasional text message and voice broadcast. And over time, they finally converted. They're finally ready. They're ready to borrow from HMB. Who knows what else they're doing in real estate. And we're like, man, that makes it worthwhile. That makes, obviously if you run you're running paid traffic, you get some good loan applications, you have your people on the phone trying to convert them into deals, and something closes this month, which they do, great. But when you get one of those really deep years into the drip campaign closings, that's like, man, marketing works. It's the best. I love doing this stuff. And it makes it all seem worthwhile.
The furthest back one I've been able to track to was 10 years. 10 years in our email database. That was the furthest I can track back to that we were able to, from the original point of origination to actual close loan, which is freaking crazy. No businesses can say that they've done that. Oh, this person's been following me for this period of time. And you're spending time and money on talking to people and generating people. It's not just spending money on ads. It's going to meetup groups and spending multiple minutes or an hour talking to somebody, building a relationship, right? And then you go to find out they don't have a deal ready right now, or you can't lend in that area, or whatever the case is, you don't know. And that's why you got to follow up with them. All right, you want to go through the 3 different email templates that we have, and then I'll follow up with some other processes we put in place.
Yes. All right. So as you'll notice from some of the things we're talking about, we do a number of different things to follow up with people to stay in front of them. You don't have to do all of them. The more is better. The more the better. And getting in someone's phone these days is a really effective way to make that happen. But there are some more hoops to jump through. So if you're only going to do one method of following up, we would suggest doing email broadcasts. It's easy. It's very low in cost. And we're going to give you some shortcuts here so that you know what to send out. When people come into our circle for consulting or join a mastermind group, something like that, oftentimes the first question when it comes to marketing is, yeah, I want to email my list, but I don't know what to send them. Okay, well, we'll talk about it. Let's break it down. So we categorize these email broadcast types into 3. 1, we call content share. 2, deal spotlight. And 3, call to action. So content share is you just recorded a quick video on whatever topic. We do podcasts and we clip it up into a shorter version, but it could just be you talking to your phone about, hey, I'm at a property, we just funded this last week. We're here doing a construction draw, whatever the situation might be. You might say, here are 3 uses of a private lender, 3 different deal types you might use a private lender for. You're talking to your phone. And then you broadcast that out to your list with a little blurb, a pic of the video, hyperlinks to where they can watch it on your website or on YouTube, wherever you prefer. That's content share. Or if you want to share a blog post you've recently written, or a bunch of pics of you and your team at a meetup group, content share. Another one, which is very common in lending, it's also very effective, is called deal spotlight. That's what we call it. Commercial lenders, they call it a tombstone. You can call it a case study, whatever it might be. Take a look at this recently closed deal that HMB just did. It was $500K. It was in Montgomery County, Maryland. Fix and flip to a repeat borrower. They brought X amount to the table. Here's what they'll probably sell for. Here's a few picks, right? Describe the deal, give some visuals, give some data about it. And that is a very, very basic and straightforward and effective way for a lender to market. You don't have to be that creative to talk about the details of a loan you just closed. That's number 2. And number 3 is probably my favorite one. Because we use it a little less often, but a few times a month, we'll do a call to action. And a call to action is just what it sounds like. It's not a content share. It's not branded. It's more of a salesy type of email that looks like a personalized email going right to one person that is asking them to do something, mainly apply for a loan. So you could come up with different copy around that. One common one that we like to use is, hey, let's get this closed by the end of the month. It's February. Do you need to get something closed by the 28th? If so, reply to this right now. And we're a local lender. We lend in these states. We've been doing it since 2007. Whatever your spiel is, right? Whatever your unique selling proposition, throw it right in there and try to get some response. That's the point of this. It's a call to action. Another one could be, hey, we just got a 5-star Google review. Check this out, what this person had to say. Click right here and send me an email, or click right here and fill out this loan application so I could take a look at funding your deal too, right? And then it would be a little creative with the messaging around it, play with it. These get really good response. Like, we pick up deals every month from doing a few of these, and it's fun too. Like, I like sharing the content, I like sharing the deal spotlight, but I really enjoy a call to action. Maybe it's just the sales and marketing person inside of me, but I enjoy writing those. I enjoy hearing about the response from our team on how many people reached out to them from those. So I definitely suggest you include those as well. Those are the 3 email types. Hopefully that brings you some clarity. Think about doing one of those 3 next time it's time to send the weekly email.
I mean, that's a high level job, right? To do that. Like, it's a good use of an hour to figure out what's going on inside your business, and then sharing that with your community, sharing that with the real estate investors locally, the real estate agents, the real estate professionals locally. It goes a long way. And like what Chris said, they all serve a purpose, right? The content is providing real value to people. The case studies are showing, like, hey, we're real lenders. We're doing real deals. And these real estate investors will be like, oh, wow, I have a deal like this. I should reach out. And then the call to action one is, hey, if you have a deal that needs to close in the next 4 days left in the month or next week, hit us up. We'll close quickly, because chances are your institutional lender can't. And you might have a tight timeline or an earnest money deposit that you're going to lose. So make sure to reach out to us if you don't know. And if you're just getting started and email marketing or email broadcast is new to you, there's tons of content. There's tons and tons of content. Go check out what we do, our Hard Money Bankers content, and copy some of that, or revamp some of that type of stuff. You could do content on how hard money lending works, how your company works, how real estate investing works. Like, provide real value. The best part about emails compared to other marketing communication platforms is, if your content is good and you're providing value to the real estate investor, you can email every day. The best info marketers and the best marketers out there, they're emailing every day, as long as they're providing value to them. Like, hey, how do you flip this house? This is how I helped, so-and-so, how they made money on this particular deal, how they did this. If whatever it is, there's endless content things related to that. And the good part is, like we said, you can do it every day, but don't get overwhelmed. Start with 1 a week and then work your way up. We typically do anywhere between 1 and 3 a week, and that's where it works. So moving on to a few other ways that we communicate, we do text messaging. We do that automated. At this point, we use Go High Level for that. Before, we used other software platforms, and they're kind of like follow-up check-ins. Now, in the past, we'd always have done these quarterly, and they weren't like blasts. They were just like, okay, I put you in my long-term nurture sequence. I haven't talked, because I've finished my conversation with you today, and in 90 days, you're going to get an email or a text message that says, hey, Chris, just following up to see if any new deals you're working on, ? Hit me up or reach out or let me know, something like that. Just things like that, right? Mild touches, because you can't text message somebody every single day, right? Like,
Right.
it's too interfering. You can't text them every day. So we did it every quarter, although we've been testing if we can do it more frequently, like once a month. Like, it's not going to be weekly, but we think we could probably get away with doing it monthly without being too pushy to the real estate investors, right? Because let's say they buy a property today, and they use somebody else and they don't use you. Like, do you want to be in touch with them next every month, right away. You don't want to be too pushy on it, because text messages don't provide as much value as an email could, right? There's only so much you can put in a text message. It's typically like, hey, just want to follow up, see if you're working on anything I can help you with, or if you have any deals that you need me to look at, things like that. So again, we were doing quarterly. We're pushing. We're testing if we can do 2 months or 1 month. That's ideal. Also, ringless voicemails, which I can't say we've done recently, but we did those in the past, and they're very effective. We used to do two a year. The reason we don't really do ringless voicemails anymore is because we do a lot more outbound these days. So we're already talking. We're outbound calling our lead database manually. So that's why we're not doing it that way. So here's the deal. Ideally, you want to set this up that you have a software that you can send this out on manually. And then if there's some things you want to automate, like the text messages, maybe you want to have some sort of, like, we only have one automatic email. When I say one automatic email, it's like we set it for a certain repeat, and then we don't touch it. Most of these emails are, we're writing in real time, right? For each one of them. The ones, we have a monthly email that goes out that's recurring, which in essence is the third week of every month. And we just use it through Go High Level, and it merges text in. So it'll be like, so let's say, on the third week of February, it'll say, hey, Chris, just want to follow up to see if any have any loans that need to close the end of February. If you do, reach out, book appointment on my calendar. March, it's going to be the same thing. Hey, just want to see if you have any loans that need to close at the end of the month. And before, maybe we just put end of the month. Now we actually merge the actual dates and things like that. So it's a little bit more professional and things like that. So there is some automation component to it, but the important part is you can still kind of do this manually, and you got to do the follow-up. And this goes a long way. I think this is underrated. I think a lot of people are like, that's a lot of work. It's like, it's not a lot of work. I mean, imagine if you owned an offline store and somebody came into your store and you couldn't sell them a product and they're gone forever, right? You're doing a lot of heavy lifting. The heavy lifting is talking to them and communicating with them on the front end. That's the heavy lifting. This shouldn't be the heavy lifting.
All right, everyone, that is the pod for today. Just a heads up, our training for this month in hardmoneymastermind.com is 5 types of capital and the pros and cons for each. So we're talking about institutional money, debt fund, co-lending, unsecured notes, all the ways that a lender like us can arrange their capital, pros and cons of each. Even if you don't catch the live training, it'll be posted inside the Mastermind group, so you can always watch it after the fact. That training and every other previous month for the past 5 or 6 years, all posted inside hardmoneymastermind.com. We hope to see you inside there and here next time on the podcast.
Thank you for joining us on this Private Lenders Podcast episode. Please note that opinions stated by all the speakers on this show are only opinions and not legal, financial, or accounting advice. Please make sure to always check with your own legal, financial, and accounting professionals. If you enjoyed this episode of the Private Lenders Podcast, we would appreciate it if you could spread the word. Make sure to check out hardmoneymastermind.com, the #1 community for all private and hard money lenders.